Hello and welcome to Weekending on NDTV 24/7. I am Ambika Anand. On this episode, we focus on restaurants. Many people found comfort in delicious food as they baked and cooked at home during the pandemic. But what happened to the restaurants? We go through their journey as we speak to Chef Manish Malhotra at Indian Accent, New Delhi. So Chef, how have you and your staff at Indian Accent been keeping yourself busy since March 2020?
Since March, like when we started with the lockdown, everywhere it's going to over. But then it started stretching. Then we started doing online classes for our staff, the wine classes, some cooking things for our staff. And basically just talking to each other on Zoom has been helpful for everything, I would say. To talk to each other, just how well they are doing.
All right. And when did the kitchen become operational?
September. September kitchen became operational because first we thought that we will do a takeaway, but I think Indian accent food doesn't do well justice to takeaway things. So we did some trials, but I was not very happy about it, that how the food will reach to our guests. So we said we are not going to do any takeaway.
Okay.
But the kitchen was functional since September, yes.
All right. And have a lot of people been coming since September to the restaurant?
September, kitchen was operational. October, we started. And touchwood, October, November, December was definitely not that good like last year. But we almost reached 40 to 45% of what we did last year.
Indian Accent is present in New York as well as London. How are those kitchens and restaurants operating in this brand new world?
So, unfortunately, we have to shut London permanently because it was really becoming tough financially there because we didn't get any help from our landlords. But New York was on. We did some takeaway food also from there, and we started in the beginning, outdoor seating. It went off very well, but again, it was like government says shut it, then open it, shut it. So it was off and on.
Are you surprised as a chef to see how during the pandemic since March, everybody has been cooking themselves or they've been baking?
It is really encouraging for as a chef to see that everybody is getting so involved in cooking, and they are cooking with their own hands, and there are thousands of people innovating new things in their house, which is very, very good. I really feel like when more people will know about food, they will become more knowledgeable, and when they come to my restaurant, they will feel more involved and happy what I create, and I think they will have more respect for the chefs because cooking at home is also a difficult thing to do.
Absolutely. As somebody who has worked in restaurants in India, in London, in New York, what do you think is the future of eating out? Do you think the romance of eating out is going to come back again, or has it already come back, or it will never be the same?
So see, romance of eating out will always be there. It will never go out of fashion. However, how much you order from deliveries or how much you're going to cook at home, eating out is totally a different experience which it's very difficult to create at your own place.
So what's the advice that you have for all the budding chefs out there?
Especially this year is tough for everyone, but this year is really tough for budding chefs who has just come out of the catering colleges and culinary institute, because this year no jobs. So every day I get so many CVs that they can come and intern or they can come and work for me. For them, I would say, hang on. This year has been tough for everyone. Next year, the 2021 is going to be way better than 2020.
Indian Accent is an old and established restaurant, and you still had to shut your eatery in London. What's your advice to smaller restaurants and eateries that are really suffering? Do you think they should just shut down?
I really want to advise them that don't shut down. If you can manage to hold on, better do that. Control your cost.
That brings me to my next question. How was this year financially? Was it loss-making? Did you break even?
Definitely, it's going to be, if we see that entire 2020-21, it's going to be a loss-making. But last 3 months have been really encouraging for us, and we are inching towards profits or break-even, whatever you want to say. But it's encouraging.
All right. So what are you going to teach all our viewers today, Chef?
So today I am going to do two dishes. I think in this pandemic and this time everybody missed some chaat. Even I missed some chaat, so I'm going to do a chaat thing and a nice salad which is healthy, tasty. So usually people think salads are not tasty. So this is nice, healthy and tasty salad. So two things we are
Lovely.
going to do.
Let's get started.
Absolutely. We are going to cook some nice salad today. Very, very basic and salad.
What are the key ingredients?
So clean avocado, a little bit of quinoa. This is sunflower shoots, beetroot, in gooseberries, figs, dressing, and thoda sa namak para, that is for the, instead of croutons, anything, just the Indian touch to it. Olive oil, a bit of honey, a little bit of balsamic, nimbu juice. This is a spice mix. Basically, it's a Goan curry spice mix. Little bit of mayonnaise so that it binds. Black pepper, pinch of salt. This is one of the easiest way to. Nice ripe avocado. If you don't have quinoa, you can use any. You can use millet. You can use barley. A little bit of avocado. Now these gooseberries are in season. 1 or 2 radishes, a little bit of figs, mix it nicely. Now my dressing will go. Last, we'll add some sunflower shoots, and here we go. Our salad is almost ready. Just decorate it a little bit more with a slightly more colors. A little bit of, this is shakar para, namak para for the crouton sake. Cucumber flowers. And here we go.
Well, that was a very colorful salad. Up next, Chef Manish is going to teach us something that can be found in the streets of Lucknow. Chef.
Yes, so we are going to do Safed Matar ki tikki, which is very unique to Lucknow. You can find it other places also, but it's speciality of Lucknow with the white pea tikki.
So Chef, what are the ingredients?
So it's basically boiled white pea mash, Safed Matar. In Delhi we call it matra. Little bit of chaat masala, nimbu, some chilies, green chilies, red chili, black chaat masala, chopped ginger and chopped coriander, and definitely a little bit of desi ghee, which is required for the chaat. This particular one definitely. So we'll just take the white pea mash, salt, a little bit of chaat masala, nimbu juice, some chopped coriander, some chopped chilies, some ginger, pinch of black chaat masala, and we are going to mix, just mash it. So these are now nicely mashed, and then we'll shape it as a tikki. So a little bit of desi ghee, and here we go. Shape it like a nice tikki. On a slow flame. See, the nice golden color is now coming, which is required. We'll do a little bit of plating now. So I have this kachalu, which is again.
What is kachalu?
Kachalu is a very, very Delhi thing, but you will be surprised. This is tapioca actually.
Oh really?
So this is tapioca. just put in a little bit of imli ka chutney. You can hear the sound where like this tikki is ready. A little bit of nimbu, pinch of black chaat masala, and definitely it is Indian accent.
What is that?
This is nasturtium leaves. Again, nasturtium is in season.
Can't wait to try it. It's perfect. Chef, thank you so much. It was amazing. Well, on the show, we head into a break. When we come back, we make you meet two chefs and listen to their exciting journey during the pandemic. Welcome back to Weekending. This week, we focus on the journey of restaurants during the pandemic. I'm about to meet chefs and restaurateurs Hanisha Singh and Jamsheed Bot, who started the restaurant called Platz in New Delhi in late October 2019, and just a few months later were faced with the pandemic. Let's listen in to their story. Hanisha, you know, your restaurant started in October 2019 and in March 2020 we all had to go through the pandemic. How did you deal with it as a young restaurateur?
So I think for us it was immense heartache at that point, because only being 4 months old, we opened towards the end of October, and around the 22nd or 23rd of Feb we shut down the restaurant. So for us, closing doors at that point, it was uncertain. We didn't know whether we'd be opening again, or, you know, is this it? Will we be moving out of the space? So it was very uncertain. But I think at that point, in the best interest of everyone, when we shut down, it wasn't like a mandate to shut down, but because we have a team that's been coming to us from all over, they use public transport, so we were like, it's just unsafe. So we shut down, and within the week we saw the mandate come in where everyone had to shut down and we had no choice.
But you dealt with it so positively, because I know you came up with DIY Italian food. You came up with a traveling menu over the weekend, and we've read about it on Instagram, in the papers. So at which point did you conceptualize that?
So, you know, initially when we went into lockdown, I think the first month after that heartache, we were in that zone that maybe this is a good thing. We were enjoying spending time at home, which we had never really done, and we have a 3-year-old who usually spends her day with her nanny, but this was that one time where she was seeing us through the day, and it was just fun being home, and we kind of got used to that. But then as we hit, I think, April, we were like, you know, this can't last longer than this. We need to get back, because both of us as people, Jamsheed and I run the space together, and for us we constantly have to keep doing something. So we said, what should we do sitting at home? So it actually started out as doing weekend meals from the house and then delivering. So we still had some stock at the restaurant. So we pulled out stock from our freezers to see what kind of meat was available to us, and based on that we created menus on the weekend, and we were selling from the house, where we were running a menu Saturday, Sunday, and people were picking up. We did a tie-up with Pidge where they were delivering our meals from the house. A lot of people were spending time at home. They had the time to indulge in cooking from themselves, but at the same time, not everybody is a great cook. So we thought the DIY format is fun for them, because things come to you in a way where it's easy and you can almost make like restaurant quality food at home yourself.
So clearly your innovation has paid off. I mean, it's amazing if every weekend you are feeding 140 people, you know, through takeaway. Take us through your numbers. Are you profitable now? What kind of growth rate do you see? Is it more than pre-COVID time?
Definitely not. Definitely can't compare what our sales were compared to pre-COVID to post-COVID, but also then we've been lucky enough to get some relief. Like our landlord was helpful for the first 2 months. She gave us like a complete waiver of the rent. Then comes our staffing, which anyways is on a bare minimum. A, we don't want too many people. B, we don't feel that it's safe if people don't have their own transport. So it's best that only a smaller team that who can come on their own and is not interacting with too many people or meeting too many people in a public space come to work. So that way expenses have been low. I think touch wood, we haven't had to put any money into the business again post starting, and we've managed to kind of salvage our way through, where we've done enough sales to cover all our expenses and maybe make a little more. Pre-COVID we were making a lot more, but now we're just like, breaking even and making a little more, and luckily we haven't had to put in anything.
So that's exciting. You said you're going to people's homes and cooking, and how many people are you kind of catering?
So we do a minimum of 10, and so far we've done a maximum of 30. We haven't done beyond that, but 30 also now because somebody had a wedding. But before that it's only been 10 to 15 people.
So it's fantastic that you have survived and been a little profitable during the pandemic. What is your advice to all the young budding chefs or to restaurants who are running into losses?
I think for young budding chefs, everybody seems to be in a rush. They just want to kind of maybe grow the ladder faster or do things faster. I think maybe the generations that come always want to be in that rush to do things. But I think to be a strong chef, the most important thing is to be like dogged, because you have to do like those same tasks day in and day out, and you kind of have to be relentless and have patience and perseverance so that you can kind of wave through that, and then you will eventually get to a point where you will be creating things your way. But ideally, to learn the basics, you have to be dogged and relentless, I feel, and that's what I tell all young chefs, that don't come in with that whole rush and urgency of, okay, in a year I want to be from here to there. It will eventually happen. You just got to get your basics strong.
And your advice to restaurants who are not as innovative as you and going through
honestly,
losses?
Survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. But saying that, it's very, the situation for every restaurant is different. So you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons and see that whether does it make sense to stay open and continue doing, if you can continuously push yourself to do newer things. The only thing I would say is keep at it, because if you feel that you can, then keep doing something new, innovative, weekend specials, so that you engage people and keep them interested.
But it's so exciting that you all have been innovative. What do you think now that chefs like yourselves who've been so innovative and given people so many options during the pandemic, how is the world going to be post-pandemic? Do you think the romance of eating out will still be there? Will people have long conversations over a steak?
Definitely. I think people are so fed up of sitting at home and they really do want to step out. And honestly, in the last 2 weeks, I think the last week of December and the first week of Jan, we've really seen people coming out again. Like, we've had days where you'd probably see one table in the entire day and you're just like, okay, I mean, pre-COVID, we never even thought about deliveries, honestly. But now you see people stepping out, coming back, because they do miss that. They do miss talking to the team, interacting, chilling with their own friends and just hanging and, not being in a confined home environment. The whole thing of the ambience and some music and a cup of tea with your dessert or coffee with your dessert.
So tell us, what are you teaching us today? What are you teaching our audience to cook today?
So, Jamshid's going to take over for that, and we're doing one of our most popular dishes that we also cooked for Marco Pierre White when he was in Delhi. So it's the prawn and calamari alla plancha. And we thought we'll do a dessert, because it's winter, and this dessert is kind of potent in terms of the brandy that goes into it. So it's a slow-baked chocolate cake with apricot and brandy.
Wonderful. I hope all of you have your pens and paper ready to jot down the recipe. Thank you for your time, Jamshid.
So what we're going to be doing today is we're doing two dishes, one sweet and one savory. Very simple dishes, things that you can replicate at home very easily. The first dish we're going to be doing is the prawn and calamari alla plancha. So to start with, let's start with the tigre, which is the sauce. Fairly simple ingredients. Again, we have some garlic. Here we have some coriander stems which have been chopped up. We use one juice of a lime and we use the zest as well. So this is the zest. 2 fresh red chilies for the heat. We also have a little diced celery, and finally the liquid. So as I mentioned, we have a juice of 1 lemon and a 75 ml of a passion fruit puree, and this is just some olive oil. Whisk this up in a blender and that's what you get out of it. So now for the prawns and the calamari, like you can see, I've cut the calamari, I've scored it, and I've just marinated it with a little herb and chili. What we're going to do is we're going to season the prawns again, salt and pepper. You want it at a good high heat because seafood will cook really fast. So we got some olive oil here. We'll start with the prawn first. You want that sizzle when your seafood's going into the pan. Again, a couple of minutes in the pan. So you can see you got that nice golden there on the shrimp. We'll just add a slight bit of oil in the pan again for our calamari. And again, the calamari goes in. Just to reinforce some flavor, we have some sliced garlic and some shredded herbs. Now we're just going to sear this till the calamari is cooked. We take a plate, you start with the prawns. So the prawns on the base. Now you can see the calamari is cooked, it's all curled up. So as you can see, we've got the sauteed prawns over here. Now that's the sauce that we made, the tigre de leche, the passion fruit tigre de leche. Drizzle that over our seafood there. We've got some chili oil just to reinforce that kick. And we've got some herb oil as well. And we've got these lovely little picked herbs here. And that's our signature prawn and calamari a la plancha with the passion fruit tigre de leche.
Lovely. Now do we move on to the dessert?
Now we're going to move on to the dessert. So what we're going to do is the basic ingredients we have some dark chocolate, some unsalted butter, some caster sugar. These are some apricots which have been diced and steeped in some warmed brandy so that they soften a little bit, and some whole eggs. We just add about 150 grams of dark chocolate with 120 grams of unsalted butter. What the method we're using is called a double boiler method. So we have some simmering water on the base and the steam is hitting the bowl and it's helping the chocolate melt. Lovely gloss and shine. So what we've done on the base is we've just lined it with some plastic wrap first and then some aluminum foil. So I think here we're done. Real smooth. So now we have 5 whole eggs. We have 175 grams of sugar. All we want to do, we don't want to incorporate air into this. As I said, it's a slow bake cake. It's almost like a pudding or a fudge. Start incorporating the eggs into the chocolate. Now we've got 110 grams of apricots with about 90 ml of brandy. So what we're going to do now is slowly just incorporate the brandy and these apricots. It's a very soft cake, so I wouldn't want someone to try and demold it and get it out of it, so that'll be a problem. This way, once it's baked, you put it in the fridge to chill and then you can just peel off this whole thing and then take this off and slice. Like I said, we're going to use this water here, which we used to boil. We're going to pour it into this pan. And the reason we put the foil over the ring is so that we don't allow this water to seep into our cake either. So can you see the steam that's being produced? Even so, while this is baking, the top will start steaming and it's going to be one heck of a beautiful cake. So what we generally do is once we demold it, we slice it up. We want it to be chilled before you slice it. But then we put it into the microwave for a couple of seconds. So we're talking anywhere between say 8 to 10 seconds, just so that the center gets a little warm and gooey. And we serve it with vanilla bean ice cream and we have a little chocolate tui on top.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jamshid.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you all.
And all of you do try replicating these dishes at home. And till next time, goodbye.
Thank you.